Okay. One of the things I was keen to know, how much are we using LinkedIn here in the UAE and the GCC? Are we big users of LinkedIn?
May I jump in?
Yeah, of course.
In 2017, LinkedIn has announced the UAE as the most connected country on the planet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go
Here we
us.
are.
Go us. And why do you think it's so successful here? What do you think it is about the region?
Yeah, I think in the region we are trying to track all the market trends.
Yeah.
And especially if we're talking about GCC, UAE, or Saudi, there is a lot of changes that we have to track. So youth will playing a major role in these changes. For example, now if we talk about the Saudi 2030 vision or the changes that happening in Dubai or UAE, we want to make sure that we can equip the talent or the candidates with the required skills for the current and the future jobs.
Okay. I guess if somebody's thinking, I'm looking for a job, there are lots of ways to do that. There are job websites, there are agencies that can help you find a job. How can individuals use LinkedIn to do that?
I think we are different in this part because in our vision we said we are creating economic opportunity for every member in the workforce. Creating economic opportunity, it's mean if you are looking for a job, will help you to will help you to find the right job. If you are currently working in one job, we want to make sure that are you in the right job? Is this your dream job? So with LinkedIn, you will never downgrade yourself. We want to make sure that you are in the right job for you. And if you are in the right job, does it mean that LinkedIn will not add value for you? For sure, we can add value, will make you good in what you are doing.
Okay, I like it. I'm sold. Anas, I just want to ask you a couple of questions, actually. You must deal with a lot of people. PwC, a huge multinational company, and lots of people are employed in this region by PwC. But I guess in terms of engaging and finding people and finding the right people for roles, how challenging can that be?
I would say it is challenging because not every profile is optimized, and that's it's an ongoing process for us as members as well as companies and LinkedIn itself as a platform. In that regard, building a personal profile and looking for a job or just being open for opportunities, which is so many people are, there is a certain process and there is a certain techniques and a secret sauce, if I may say.
I love that phrase, the secret sauce.
I do have many, actually, for LinkedIn. So building a personal profile, if I may ask each and every of our listeners and people who are watching right now, 3 questions, and quickly, I would say, how would you present yourself in front of 630 million member as of today on LinkedIn? How would you present your skills and achievements here in Dubai, in the UAE, in front of your colleagues, customers, and His Highness the ruler of Dubai is also there? How would you present yourself and achievements?
And the democratic thing, like you mentioned about LinkedIn, is anyone can look up someone else. That's part of the attraction.
Google
like
for
you said, people can look at you from the very top of this country if they want to look for a skill set.
And not only here, it's global. The competition is global. My second question would be, would you be a specialist or a mediocre, just a jack of all trades on LinkedIn? And the third and last question is, would you present yourself as a subject matter expert or a spammer, someone who's just sending messages and salesy messages and content for each and everyone out there, hoping to get something out of that? So this is for building the personal profile. And just to follow up on what Reems has mentioned, which is the profile optimization, we need probably a couple of hours, but I'm gonna give you a few points to check out on your profile. So number one is building that personal profile. And thinking of my questions, you should check out your profile picture. I looked at your profile and I saw that you took a picture with a microphone. That tells me automatically that you work for DubaiEye, right?
Yes.
Number 2 is the head banner. Number 3 is the location. This is not the place where you will show your homesickness. This is where you are at the moment. your contact details. Make sure that the website and your landline, your mobile, your email is functioning and up to date. The vanity URL, you need to customize that so you can include it in your email signature and everywhere possible in communicating with others. Did you list the 50 skills that LinkedIn has offered you to list on your profile?
Can I just ask a question
Please.
about that? Because last week on the programme, our topics, our big chat was about whether it was great to be a specialist or a jack of all trades. And you know, there is an argument, if you stick all 50 in there, people might think you specialise in nothing and you don't do any of those particularly well.
Not really, because let's take marketing as an example. The word marketing has probably around 25 skills listed on LinkedIn, and I highly recommend to pick up from the list whatever LinkedIn has offered you right there in the platform itself, and also embed those keywords within the context of your profile. And don't forget to join groups. You're also offered to join 50 groups and follow as much as you like of companies. So following the right companies will show the right content on the front of you on that timeline. And don't forget to add websites and videos, which what we call the multimedia or the rich media on your profile, seasoned with a secret sauce of the certifications and the professional membership, which many people has left out blank, where this is what recruiters or hiring managers most of the time look at. So this is from a perspective of personal branding. And to answer your question, the second part, which is finding jobs and finding the talent. So if you have optimized your profile this way, you're going to make it easy for hiring managers and recruiters and HR managers to find you, whether they are doing the basic research on LinkedIn or they are using the professional service from LinkedIn, which is the LinkedIn Recruiter.
Okay, you're listening to Starting Up. It's just gone 1:30. Our guests on Career Clinic today, Reem Mohammed, Head of LinkedIn KSA Public Sector, and Anas Al-Mahiri, who is PwC's Academy Faculty Director of Social Media Solutions. We're going to continue this conversation in a few minutes' time and answer some of your questions next.
Join the conversation on Starting Up with Natalie Lindo.
Coming up next on DubaiEye1038. Your favourite team's playing today, and we're following all the action. Download the ARN News Centre app via iOS or Android for the latest updates from the biggest sports fixtures in the UAE and around the world. In association with Rivoli Eyezone, wear optical glasses. Power your sunglasses too. Visit Rivoli Eyezone.
Sarah, did you make payment to our suppliers?
Already paid.
Don't forget to bank our clients' checks.
Already done.
And we have to get that cash picked up.
All sorted.
Sarah, have you got a secret helper?
Yeah, Rack Value SME Cash Management from Rack Bank Business Banking.
Your business generates cash and we manage its flow. So sit back in your office and enjoy benefits such as check scanning, cash pickup, free remittance and preferential exchange rates. Visit rackbank.ae/business. Conditions apply.
Kickers Sports Bar has your weekend sports fix.
Top international sport continues this weekend as the focus switches to rugby union and the hotly anticipated Rugby Championship. A chance for the Southern Hemisphere's rugby powerhouses to lay down a late marker ahead of the World Cup. It all gets underway at 7:05 p.m. on Saturday as South Africa host Australia at Ellis Park. The fearsome All Blacks are strong favourites to land yet another title, and their campaign begins away to Argentina at 3:40 a.m. Sunday. Catch highlights of that one throughout the day. Meanwhile, pre-season in the world of football continues to build towards the start of a new campaign in just 3 weeks' time. For all the top sporting action around the world, Kickers Sports Bar in Dubai Sports City is the place to be this weekend.
For your fix of live sport, head to Kickers Sports Bar, where the game is always on. Here's what you've been talking about on the agenda.
The all-important burger panel. Have you been able to quantify, Nick Rego, how many burgers you've tasted for the purposes of research in this town?
I don't think we have that much of airtime, to be fair.
And is it fair to say that there are the good, the bad and the ugly out there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've seen people attempt to eat what I think is called like a tower of burger, where you've got like 17 patties in there and you've got 8 kgs of cheese melting off the sides. And I just think to myself that A, why? B, nice knowing you. And C, why? Because I think, a burger in itself is beautiful. And so I think at max you want to have like 2 patties in there if you really want to go crazy. Anything above that, you're just trying to be a fad and trying to make people Instagram it. So I think that's a real waste of food.
Don't just join the conversation, start it with Tom Urquhart on The Agenda. Weekday mornings from 10.
On Dubai 103.8. This is Starting Up with Natalie Lindo.
On Dubai Eye 103.8.
Join the conversation.
A very good afternoon. You are listening to Starting Up. I am Natalie Lindo. My co-host from Virtuous Zone is Christian Pedersen, and we're talking all things careers and how to get more out of your online profile.
Career Clinic.
And we have 2 guests in the studio to help you out. Reem Mohammed, who's head of LinkedIn, KSA, the public sector, and Anas Al-Mehri, who is from PwC's Academy faculty and is the director of social media solutions. So we're getting lots of questions in for you guys because everybody wants their LinkedIn profile to be good, whether you're a job seeker or not. It's a showcase of who you are and what you do. One of the things that we are talking about on the programme today, though, is failure. What has been your biggest failure and what did it teach you? Whether you've made a mistake at work that's cost your company money, whether it's a personal mistake. We do want to hear from you, 4001 via the Dubai Eye app. You can message us there for free, or if you want to call us, 04871 5500. Now, Christian, have you thought of yours yet, or do you still need a bit more thinking time?
I thought a lot about it, and I couldn't really find one big failure. So I think it's probably more about smaller failures like throughout your career.
Yeah.
So, I do marketing. So, there's a lot of campaigns, we'll be running across, various markets to promote our services and our products. And, sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't get it right.
Yeah.
When you set up a certain campaign, you feel like the ads are amazing, the website, looks crisp. And, the messaging is on point. But sometimes it just doesn't
hit
resonate.
the mark.
Exactly, yeah. So you'll have to go back and look at, what's the data we have sort of compiled from the campaign so far. How can we go back and optimize the ads, optimize the messaging, and so on. So it's, sometimes you just hit it, sometimes you miss it. But I think it's just as long as you learn from it every single time. And also, especially marketing is a very data-driven field. So, always look at the data. Just don't only go for your gut, for your stomach feeling, even though both can be good. But it's like, we collect so much data online and, it's really about putting it to use in the best way possible and constantly learn from it.
Okay, so I promise you that I've revealed my failure. Now, we have 2 guests in the studio, Reem and Anas. I want you 2 to think about if you've got any examples of this, because we're asking listeners to message in too. And what happened to me was I was a presenter for the BBC in Northern Ireland, and I used to read the news in the mornings. And when we were learning to do it, you have a big television screen, and it kind of has a mirror underneath. And that's where your auto cue comes from. So the camera's filming you and the words are on the screen. You also have a computer in your desk where the words are. And one of the tips we were always told is get down to the studio early, make sure you're sat in position so you're not flustered, and bring a paper copy because, you never know when you might need it. And for weeks and weeks and weeks, every morning, I was like, oh, it's fine. I never used the paper copy. One day I forgot my paper copy or thought it doesn't really matter, I can't remember which, and the screens went, the auto cue went on the camera and it went on my screen and they just went, and I had 1 minute before I was on air. So my lesson there was I had to talk without a script, and it's news, you can't make news up. So luckily I had a producer in my ear that could help me until we got it up and running, but also I had to look, smile and pretend everything was okay. And to that day I've never gone into a studio without a paper copy of what I'm going to say.
Wow. Do you have a paper copy with you today?
No, I don't, but we're paper free in this office, so I wouldn't be allowed to bring one anyway. So in terms of live television, that is my number 1 tip for anyone. Take the paper copy with you always. So guests, have you got any failures that you can think of? Or should we continue actually? We'll continue. I'll let you have a little think about that question and we'll come back to it. So as I mentioned, we have 2 guests in the studio with us and we're looking at our online profiles. One of the things that we wanted to talk about is some people, want to really not just use LinkedIn, Reem. They want to sort of almost become an influencer on it. And we have lots of career experts that come into this very studio and talk about how important it is to write articles on your preferred subject, post videos of you taking part, write blogs, have an opinion. Is that a strategy that LinkedIn, you guys see both as working?
Yes, and I think this is the main reason that we have like the decision makers or the senior people and the influencer at LinkedIn, because we consider ourselves 80% from our member are passive candidates.
Okay.
They are not heavily looking for an opportunity. They are focusing more on the networking and how can they upskill themselves. What's the next step for them? And this is the main the main goal for them. 20%. Now we are trying to engage the students because before the student they feel that they are too junior to join LinkedIn. So we are trying to encourage them. They said, we are aware about LinkedIn, but we don't have any experience to add. We didn't work yet. We are encourage them to add any kind of activities that
educational
they're doing.
Achievements, what they do outside of work.
And every time I told them, if you are a member or you organize like a graduation and events or any activity in the university, you can list it. Just consider as experience.
What about if you're into rock climbing? Would you suggest going out and getting a profile picture by some mountains or some rocks to indicate, that's other things you like doing and that's part of your personality?
I do have an opinion about that. If that's what you do for a living, then why not doing that? Or for a certain period of time to tell people and you have the head banner. It's not necessarily only your profile picture, which is they want to connect with your face, with you as a person and as a human.
Okay, we have a message. Amar got in touch, and this is Amar's experience with LinkedIn. Oh, we can't quite get to Amar right now, but we've had lots of texts coming in. We're also broadcasting this live on Facebook, and Richard's been in touch and says, I believe in the power of LinkedIn. It's a modern way to maintain a Rolodex of connections that may be helpful in your career. So Richard's watching. What do you make of that, guys?
Absolutely. Building the profile is part of today's day and age. It's not only you are not alone in this universe, or you're not alone on this network. There is a local network, there is a regional network, and there is an international network, and that can go to a different layers of the matrix of building an effective network as a professional on LinkedIn.
Okay, hopefully we'll hear from Amar right now.
Called me. They thought I am suitable for the job they had. However, in general, that's my new job, the job I would like to work in, through my contacts there, not directly through the people who search for the employee. That's my experience with LinkedIn. It's who know you personally rather than who search.
So Amar seems to think you just get a job, or in his experience, it was a contact that got him the job.
Well, I can answer that. He's right, but that's part of the LinkedIn network. Having a LinkedIn profile fully optimized and a great network doesn't help you to find a job. Like buying a car and just not having enough money to run the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's right, but that's not the case in each and every one case. We are 130 million member on LinkedIn. Each and every one of us has a certain experience. I don't know. Reem, you want to add something?
And recently we did a survey, and 85% from the employer, they said the online branding, it will influence their decision on hiring. So we always encourage them to build the right branding for themselves. It's true, the connection will support you to get the job easier. And in LinkedIn, we have referral, we have recommendation, we have a lot of things. So even if the recruiter, once he saw your profile or your CV, he will Google it and he will try to find your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
So it will help him to take the right decision.
And we've had an anonymous message come in, and it says, I'm keen to update, they're clearly listening to this. I'm keen to update and improve my LinkedIn profile, including asking people for recommendations and using some of the tools we've been talking about. But they don't want their current employer to see all these changes and think they're actively searching for a new job. What kind of advice do you have for someone in that situation? You can see why they've gone anonymous, right? Okay, Anas, what do you think?
So you need to control. You are in control of your LinkedIn activities and privacy. So if you check the privacy, you've got all the buttons to turn on and off whatever you would like to share with your network. The second part where hiring managers and recruiter look for someone like you and someone who has your skills, there's something called the LinkedIn Recruiter. And we don't see that, but we list our skills. And what I mean by that is there's a button in your profile says that let recruiters know that you are open. By clicking that, LinkedIn algorithm make sure that if you click that on and you keep it for the days that LinkedIn allows you to, your current employer will never find you that you are looking for a job. But updating your profile is not only looking for a job. Not everyone on LinkedIn looking for a job. Those leaders are definitely not looking for a job. It's part of our personal profile. And this is part of the main, what differentiates LinkedIn from any other job platform. If you are on a job platform, which means that you are looking for a job and there is few questions mark on your ability to do certain stuff, as a human being, this is what we think. While on LinkedIn, I may not only look for a job. It's like, there's are so many people working.
They just want to update their profile. We've had a couple of questions in for VirtuZone actually as well, Christian. This one's come in and it's from Safraz in Business Bay. Safraz says, I'm planning on hiring more employees, but I've reached the visa limit on my trade license. What do I do?
Well, so first of all, congrats for growing your business and being able to take on more employees. So the rules, they differ from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, between free zone and mainland and so on. But in general, it's all about if you rent a bigger office, you are able to get more, to have more visas in your business and thereby taking on more employees.
Okay, there's just another question for VirtuZone as well. Lena from DIP says, I'd like to work as a personal trainer in Dubai. Do I need a license for that? Funnily enough, Christian, from working on this program, I know that you do need a license for that, don't you? And funnily enough, I know a company that specializes in finding licenses
Funny
like
enough,
this.
Yes. So the short answer is yes, you definitely need a license. In general, whenever you're carrying out an activity or a service in the UAE that you take a payment in exchange for, you will need a trade license. So for personal trainers, it's the same case. We launched a license earlier this year called VirtuFit, which is basically, it's the only sort of officially recognized solution that's available in the market at the moment. And it enables you to work across the entire Dubai and UAE as a personal trainer. There's other similar solutions out there, but they will only enable you to work in sort of very restricted areas, like in certain free zones. And if you want to go to your clients' houses, if you want to work out with them on a beach or in a park, VirtuFit is really the best option.
Okay, final question that we can squeeze in is for both of our two guests here. It says, is it advisable, Hector from Sharjah says, is it advisable to do a photo shoot for your LinkedIn picture? I want mine to look very professional, but I don't know if I can afford to get a photo shoot. What would you say?
Usually we recommend it, and we have different activities like we said the photo day. We encourage the companies now to work more on their talent brand. So encourage the employees to come one day, and we'll make for them like the right photo for LinkedIn.
Okay. And what would you say?
On LinkedIn Cafe, there was a free photo shoot. That's number one. Today, we have smartphones that as advanced as the DSLR and professional cameras. Get a natural light and take a photo and a basic editing. So definitely it helps a lot, and try to reflect what you do through your personal picture as well as that head picture on top of your profile. Don't leave it blank.
Okay. All right. You are listening to Starting Up. Big thanks to our guests on Career Clinic today. Real pleasure to have you in the studio. Reem Mohammed, who's the head of LinkedIn KSA Public Sector. Thank you so much, Reem.
Thank you. Pleasure.
And really lovely